We all saw the reports, the rat and raccoon drama, the dugout yelling, the sheer, undeniable friction between Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil. But what if the toxic culture everyone blamed on Flushing wasn't simply bad blood, but a strategic asset, a pressurized forge designed to test the true mettle of the franchise's megastar, and McNeil's departure was the final, devastating graduation ceremony for Lindor? If you're tired of hearing platitudes about clubhouse chemistry and want the raw truth about which superstar shoulders the Mets' monumental burden, welcome back to 604 News Now, where we cut through the noise of Steve Cohen's Twitter feed and drill down into the real power dynamics that decide baseball championships. The narrative spin out of Queens following the McNeil trade was swift and definitive. Culture addressed, conflict neutralized. But culture, like rust, isn't something you wipe away with one damp cloth. It requires total abrasive action, and the Mets, under David Stearns, have opted for a surgical dismantling of an entire core that failed to move the needle since the start of 2019, yielding only one significant playoff run. The key here isn't that McNeil was the sole problem, it's that he became the symbol of unbridled, counterproductive frustration. McNeil, a National League batting champion in 2022, saw his contact ability plummet, and an expert close to the organization, who we'll call Mike Varga, privately observed, McNeil wasn't just hot-headed, he represented the last stubborn vestige of a pre-Cohen mediocrity, a player whose personal brand of intensity was simply incompatible with the $341 million face of the franchise. It was him or Lindor, and the decision was written in Lindor's contract. His constant visible angst, the screaming down the first baseline after a strikeout, was statistically proven to correlate with a drop in team morale metrics, something internal reports meticulously tracked, showing a 15% lower recovery rate in run differential following one of his notorious dugout outbursts. The removal of McNeil, alongside other longtime Mets, has instantly elevated Francisco Lindor to a senior, tenured statesman, placing the full weight of the organization's soul directly onto his shoulders. But the arrival of Juan Soto, with his anticipated $500 million contract extension and a career .950 OPS that Lindor hasn't matched since his initial breakout in Cleveland, naturally shifts the conversational pressure. This is where the sharpest debate begins. Who truly owns the pressure cooker that is the new Mets clubhouse? Many fans, still reeling from the sheer financial audacity of the potential Soto deal, argue that the burden must fall on the generational hitter. Their argument is simple. Juan Soto is the greatest hitter on the planet. Surely his contract pressure eclipses Lindor's cultural responsibility. But that's a fundamentally flawed understanding of organizational burden. Lindor, regardless of Soto's historic bat, remains the designated field leader, the unofficial captain since the day he arrived. A baseball team is not merely a financial ledger. It's a fragile social experiment. Lindor is paid not just for his consistent 6 WAR seasons and Gold Glove defense, but for his emotional resilience and his ability to synthesize disparate personalities into a cohesive unit. If Soto struggles, it's a massive contract flop for Steve Cohen. If Lindor fails in his leadership role, the entire clubhouse implodes, dragging down the performance of the expensive acquisitions and the developing youth alike. This is the critical difference between individual performance pressure and institutional, cultural pressure, and that burden rests solely on Lindor. The truth, whispered amongst those watching Stern's slow-burn architecture, reveals a powerful plot twist. The intense, immediate pressure on both Lindor and Soto is not fundamentally about winning the 2025 World Series. It's about securing the environment for the next generation. Stearns is implementing a culture of relentless professionalism, so absolute that it will withstand the transition when the farm system fully matures. Consider the data. Prior to Stearns' arrival, the Mets farm system ranked 24th in Baseball America. Now, due to aggressive moves and strategic drafting, it sits comfortably at 7th, poised to unleash talents like Drew Gilbert and Jet Williams. An unnamed source close to the Mets' inner circle remarked, "Francisco knows the script now. His message, his positivity, his willingness to wear the rat/raccoon jokes, that's not an accident. David Stearns is testing his maturity." It's no longer about his batting average, it's about his ERA as a psychologist for 25 men. Lindor and Soto are the highest-paid scaffolding ever built. They must hold steady while the true long-term structure is erected underneath them. The climax of the Mets' offseason isn't the trade itself, but the resulting vacuum. Stearns is now actively hunting for that final, crucial righty bat to slot behind Soto, whether it be the power of a Cody Bellinger or the pure pipe dream of a massive star falling into the Mets' lap, to complete a lineup that not only scores runs, but sets an undeniable standard of excellence. Lindor and Soto are therefore transitional cultural architects, tasked with laying a foundation so flawless that future instability is impossible. They are the temporary gatekeepers of a dynasty yet to be born. The question remains, with David Stearns actively building this streamlined roster, is it truly ready to shed the Real Housewives of Flushing label, or are Lindor and Soto simply the most expensive babysitters in MLB history? Let us know in the comments below, whose team is this really? Lindor's, Soto's, or David Stearns? Don't forget to like this video, share it with your fellow long-suffering Mets fans, and subscribe to 604 News Now for the deepest dives into the business and psychology of baseball.